collecting stories of positivity, hope, and rejuvenation, which he documented in his website called Good News India. This was launched recently as a book by the same name. After a few years, he decided that he wanted to create some good news of his own. He has turned acres of parched land in a remote village in Tamil Nadu into an oasis for all creatures and our organic farm with a school on the premises. He is the guiding spirit of Indic Academy and SMART. This book will be received by Dr. Deepa Duraiswamy. Dr. Deepa Duraiswamy holds degrees in engineering and management from the University of Pune and IIMC. Her desire to understand the Agamas and make them more accessible for a modern audience led to an interdisciplinary PhD on temple management in Agamas at the Department of Sanskrit, University of Madras, that is now published as a book by Indic Academy. She teaches an introductory course on Saiva Siddhanta at the Department of Saiva Siddhanta, University of Madras. She is also the Vice President of SMART. I request Shivakumar to say a few words and later Deepa and D.V. Sridharan to say a few words on the same. My congratulations, Shivakumar ji.
Namaste. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you, Surenji, and thank you all the organizers. And thank you, DVG, and thank you, Deepaji. This book, Aryaa, it is published by Indic Academy. It's an anthology, it's a collection of 10 stories on 10 Vedic women, written by 10 different authors, curated by me. A small brief on how we went about doing this. For many, many decades, one thing has been bothering me, and that is I grew up reading the story of Sati Savitri as a brave woman, as a divine woman, as a learned woman, as somebody who made her own choices, as somebody who snatched her husband from Yama. She tricks Yama. So in every sense of the word, Savitri is the hero of that story. And Savitri, by no stretch of imagination, is docile, subdued. Yet in the modern world, the narrative, in fact, it became a metaphor for something completely opposite, of being docile and so on and so forth. So it was there in my mind that this ought to be corrected in a modern way, in the contemporary idiom. And it's not just about Sati Savitri. It's about a series of women. Look into any epics. All women are fascinating, are contributing to their respective contexts. They make a difference. Even if you come to the historical era, starting from the Gupta era all the way till 1800, you will find women who were fascinating, who contributed to the civilization. The last of our heroes probably will be Jijabai and Ahalyabai Hoykar, but that's not, you don't have to come to 1800. In Karnataka, there is a stone inscription of 11th century where an woman, it's an image of a lady is carved. Her name is Savinirmidi, clearly written, and she is described as Sarvashastra Prasiddhe. Whatever that means, she was well versed in some shastras which were considered as very crucial at that particular point in time. And the society is celebrating such a lady. And you will find references to poets and scholars and administrators and philanthropists and warriors. If you go to Chandraketu Gar, which is West Bengal's art collection in the Shunga period to Gupta era, 200 BC to 400, 500 AD, you will find images of fascinating women characters, all women troops, warrior women, women hunting elephants, and so on and so forth. So our civilization is a very different civilization where women are equal contributors. And through Aryaa, we wanted to make this statement that Aryaa is a woman who has shaped Bharatavarsha. And they're not receivers, they're not docile. We should not become a generation that stopped the natural flow of civilization, and the next generation should not suffer inferiority complex. We have to provide them the correct narratives from our context. So this is our first attempt from that standpoint. It consists of 8 characters from Mahabharata, 2 from Upanishads, all written in the modern idiom, and all written from standpoints that you probably would not have seen elsewhere. For instance, Bharati, one of the authors who wrote Subhadra, she is here, and her Subhadra is, standing at the critical point in civilization when, Pandavas go off to Himalayas, and Subhadra becomes responsible to take care of the kingdom as the Rajmata. She becomes the Satyavati's representative, and so on. So you will, if we open our eyes and read our texts, epics, as well as modern accounts carefully, you will find that women have always been players in this civilization, and there is no charity that is that is needed towards this effect. And that's why even in 20th century there is a strong acceptance for women leaders in either in the industry or in the politics or anywhere else. And this is the narrative that we ought to present to the next generation. This is our humble attempt. Today is also an important day for us because Indic Academy has completed 8 years. And I'm glad I'm standing on this stage, presenting a book published by Indic Academy on this particular day. And I'm even more glad that the grand young man of our Renaissance, Shri D.V. Sridharan, is there. I've been talking to him for like 3-4 years, but it's first time I'm meeting him. And Deepaji is here. I'm extremely happy. I request DVG to release the book. I request DVG to please speak a few words.
I'm supposed to be surprised by this book because it's supposed to be launched just now, but that's not the truth. I had a copy of this hot off the press for almost 3 weeks now. I've been through most of the stories, and I assure you it's wonderful reading. You can't tell that it's been written by 10 different authors. There's a consistency, there's a homogeneity, and then there is still personal voices of each author comes through. Now, having said that, I'll take 2 more minutes to say something not quite related, but indirectly is related to this. For me, it's a personal moment of modest triumph, because I come from a generation which was born before independence. I'm 81 years old now. It was my generation that I feel, I hope no one of my generation will take offense when I say this, which caused the disruption in the civilization, the Bharat civilization. It was fashionable and accepted, it was aspirational when I was young to drift away from our civilizational values and go away and be brown sahibs. And I was also inspired by the mood of the times. And I went to the Merchant Navy at the age of 17. And I traveled the world and slowly forgot India. And it took me another 30 or 40 years before I could come back and rediscover my roots. Now, I would say I blame my generation for the disruption that has been caused, which all you young people are now trying to fight and retrieve and put back in its place. So, with that, having said that apology, I also want to say how cheered I am surrounded by these 2 people. These are the successor generations to mine who are fighting and clawing back and taking Indian civilization back from where we misplaced it and putting it back in mainstream. So he is a technical person, a brilliant author, a Sanskrit scholar, is a doctorate, is a driving force behind a stream of knowledge that Indic Academy is putting out. Deepa Bhaskaranji, I met her, but I know about you. Such a multifarious lady, and you would have thought that she would not be writing or propagating something that the woke people, woke generation of today would be disappointed by. She's an Agama expert, temple Agama. Pardon? Agama student. A student, and she's written a book about it. And these two represent the generation that is retrieving the Indian civilization back from everything. And one of the people that would dislike them are the current generation, the woke generation that is trying to dominate the world, which thinks that India didn't have feminine rights, we didn't have women who asserted themselves. These people lay bare the truth about who we are. So, sorry for taking your time. I thought I'll share my personal perspective to this occasion. Thank you very much.
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः. Feminism is not new to us. It is in our blood. Shaiva Siddhanta says, and many of our traditions say, that the origin, the moment you talk about Parabrahma, the Parabrahma, if you can articulate it as Parashiva or Parashakti or Paravasudeva, everywhere it is Nada Bindu together. Everywhere it is Shiva Shakti together, or Vishnu Lakshmi together. So we have never had any difference. Much is lost in translation, and today the discussion is so watered down to say that, it's so watered down, is so nonsensical that the idea of being liberated is to wear or not wear the bindi. So let us elevate the conversation. Let us introspect. Let us, all the women, all the amazing women in the audience, so many amazing women in media, let us all think about what it is that we bring to the table. What are the shackles that surround us? Let each of us speak for ourselves without anybody telling us whether we are shackled or not. That is the way of this land, for each person to think for themselves. So in that, I think this is a wonderful, wonderful addition and contribution, Shiv Kumarji, from Indica, from you. I can't wait to read those amazing stories, as I'm sure the audience will enjoy. Everybody, please go buy a copy. Aryaa, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I feel this is so momentous to represent and to get a copy from DVSG. I'm very touched. Thank you.
I'll just take 2 minutes to say why we named this Aryaa. That is also important. If you look at one word that has flowed in the civilization starting from the Vedic age all the way till today, it is the word Arya is one such word. It represents nobility and high culture in the Vedas. It does not represent a race at all. And over a period of time, in every Indian language, the word Arya is there in one form or the other. In Tamil Nadu, it is Iyer. In Karnataka, it is Ayya. Ayya is not representing any community. It represents we address somebody as Ayya, meaning he is a high cultured person. It's a good address. So this word has gone all the way in the east, outside of the Bharatavarsha, and even in the west. You will find it in different forms in some 30-40 different languages. And this word represents both a geographical spread and a high culture without any violence. And this, we thought, is the right word to represent the femininity in India, the principle of Shakti, denoting what women have contributed to our civilization. Thank you very much. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Sridhar ji and Deepa ji, and many congratulations, Shivakumar ji as well. You can get the signed copies from Sri Shivakumar. We all know Subramanya Bharati was